Welcome back to the SQL tutorials, and as we discussed previously, we are discussing about SQL functions, and we already discussed a single row function. And in this video we are going to discuss about aggregate function, and this aggregate functions also known as group functions. So let's go over this data set from the EMP table. So we have employee name, department number, job, salary, and commission. So this is the data what I have in my database. So here are a couple of questions that I want to ask and then see if I can answer them by using whatever I learned so far. The question number one I ask is, what is the max salary in this data set? Okay. Question number two I ask is that, what is the average salary of a department? So as you see that we have three departments here in the employee table, and there are the first three rows, King, Clark, and Miller, they work on department number 10, and the remaining 4 to 5 this up to Jones, so they work in department number 20, and all other employees working in department number 30. The question that I asked you that, can you tell me what is the average salary of these three employees, and what is the average salary of these 5 employees, and what are the average salary of the remaining? So can I able to answer this question? And also I can ask you another question, number 3, is that, can you tell me, don't tell me if the average salary is less than some amount. Okay, so what is the, so what are the departments where average salary of the department is greater than, say, 3,000? Okay, so what you see here in this, all these questions, it regards a bunch of data and it asks you one data. See, for example, what is the max salary, what is the average salary, right? So basically what is happening is that the multiple inputs are going to something, and that something is giving me a result that is a single output. So this is what basically I'm doing. I'm aggregating data here and then giving an output. So that is what is called group function. Now let's try to answer the first question, question number 1. So in order to get the maximum salary, I'll use a function called max. Okay, so what max does is, max take couple of data point, so on, and then whatever is the maximum, it will return that value. So out of 10, 20, 40, the answer is 40. Okay, so now if I do select max ename, sorry, I'm sorry for that, it's not ename, it should be max sal from EMP. So in that case, what's going to happen is that whatever the values of salaries, all this thing is going to be taken to this function called max as an input, and the output will be whatever the maximum value of these numbers, and that is going to return, and so it will answer me question number 1. So let's try to evaluate in SQL. So I'll do select max sal from, okay, so maximum salary looks like is 5,000. Alright, so that's the question. So now to answer the second question is even more interesting. So second question is asking you, like, these are the data points. So hold on, let me just put this thing. So this is one data set, and I'm changing the color here so that I can understand. So this is another data set, and this is another data set. Okay, so the question is asking you that in the first question, what I did is I used the max and I gave all the data. So here what you are being asked, can you evaluate this chunk of data in the first rectangle? So this is my rectangle number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3. Okay, so whenever I calculate max salary, I took the complete value. Now I'm asking you for a department. So if you see, this rectangle is nothing but all the department of this rectangle number 1 is 10. All the employees are working in department number 20 in the second rectangle. In the third data set, all the employees are working in department number 30. Okay, so this is where we introducing a concept called group by. Okay, so if I give group by department number, that means I am taking at a time the first rectangle. Okay, so how do I solve this thing? Again, like since average salary, so there should be a function called AVG. That's very obvious. So I do select AVG sal. Okay, so if I do just select AVG sal from EMP, in that case I'm going to compute the average salary of the complete data sets. That's what I don't want. What I want to find out here is that I want to group them by department number. Okay, so therefore I say group by department number. Okay, and then I can also give here DPT number. Okay, so in that case what this group by is essentially is doing is taking one data set which is of same department number and trying to average out 5000 plus 2450 plus 1300. So these three, whatever the average, so this will the answer for this thing will be department number 10 and average value of these three numbers. Then department number 20, because all of these department are on same thing, 20, and then what is the average value for that. Next one is department number 30 and what is average value of that. Okay, so essentially this is how you answer question number 2. So let's try to execute that program. So I'll do select DPT number comma average sal from EMP group by DPT number. Okay, so this is what is the value. Okay, so now the question number 3 is how do I determine. Okay, so before going to question number 3, let's just discuss one more point. So let's basically before that I want to get the data again. So let me get the, so this is my data point of the employee. Alright, okay, so whenever I did a group by department number, so basically I make these three belongs to same category, that is department number 10. I made this 5 of same category of department number 20. So that means whenever I did group by department number, what I am basically making, I am making a subset of the data. Okay, so if you do, say let's say for example you do group by ename, in that case every row is a subset of data, because looks like all the names are unique, so therefore you will get everything is every row is a category. Right, so if I do department number comma job, that means 10 and president. So let's try to find out what are the unique combinations of these two. So 10 and president, so king 10 and president is 1, 10 manager, this is also another one, 10 clerk, also another one. But look at this, Adams is 20 Clark and Smith is 20 Clark. So therefore these Adams and Smith, they belong to a category which is of same department number, same job description. Alright. So the point here is that I can also make a group by, whenever I make this group by clause, I can also spread it to multiple columns. If I spread it to multiple columns, then based on the unique combination of those two columns or three or whatever columns that you are giving, I'm going to get the average. Okay, so that is the basically the funda of grouping by more than one column. Okay, in the group by more column, so that is the multiple columns we can also group. Okay, so like basically, for example, if I want to rewrite the same query whatever I wrote, I say department number comma job, then I say group by department number sorry okay, so look at this. If I group by on a department number, I got 3 rows. There are 3 unique combinations there. But if I do department number and job, there are 9 combinations. Okay, the 9 unique combinations of department number and job. So that is why it is showing like this. Okay, so that is the you can group. Okay, the second question I will ask, the third question that whatever I asked in the beginning, how do I exclude? So basically what I'm showing here is that show me the department where the average salary is something like this kind of condition. So basically what I'm trying to achieve here, I'm trying to do a filter. Okay, so let's say that you want to do a filter, right? So let's say this is the query that we wrote in the beginning. So let's try to redo that. So redo select. So basically I'm writing under department number, right? So Alt F(X). Okay, so the question is, how can I know that? Give me the department where, exclude the department if it is above 2500. Okay, that means I don't want to see in my result this value. So if I want to do something like this, if in a where clause, so this is basically coming under the selection. So if I give where average cell is greater than 2500, okay, this is not going to work. The reason is that whenever you have a group by clause, you cannot use this where clause as we have written here. So what you have, Oracle provides you another clause called having clause. So having clause is something that you're going to use if you are using a group by function and you want to filter some data. So in that case you use having clause to get the answer. Okay, so basically what I will do here, just modify something here, select group by having so less than 2500. That's what my answer is. I want to ask. Okay, so in this way I can filter the rows based on my selection condition. Okay, so question the root the things that you need to understand is that you cannot use where clause in group by clause. You need to use having clause. Okay, so we need to understand between what is this NVL values and group by functions place. And so here is let's take some example. Okay, I want to say find out select employee number comma commission from EMP. or I also want to let's calculate department number from EMP, right? So if I calculate select count of EMP number comma count of commission and then count of department number from EMP. So this is what I'm going to get. I'm going to get 14 for employee number, because what we are seeing is we are seeing 14 rows here, but the answer for this count of commission is 4. The reason is that the group by function will never count if the value is null. So if value is null, then it will ignore it. Since we have 1 2 3 4 not null value, so therefore the answer is 4. Department number is again 10 30 and all these things, so that's why it's counting 14 times. But if I just want to know, like, how many types of distinct department number is available, then I can modify this query a little bit, saying that select count, then I can add a term distinct. Okay, so that means what I'm saying here is that there's only 3 distinct department number is here. Okay, so this is how you understand about this, how to calculate what is the null NVL values and then not null values and then group by clause. And the last one that we want to discuss about sample group functions. We already used average, we already used count, already used max, and also similarly mean, and then there is something standard deviation, sum, and then variance and all this thing. So again, to see the complete details about these functions and all, you can go to the Oracle documentation, where these are the slide called functions, and you can see all the SQL functions that is available for Oracle on this thing. So the way that you're going to do this is a general approach that you should do. Find out what is your requirement. Based on your requirement, try to see the SQL documentation, and if there are any SQL functions are ready-made available for you to work with. If it's not available, then you are going to write a stored SQL functions, which we are going to discuss in our PL/SQL class, pretty much about class number 8 or 9. So with this, we are going to finish the functions. As I told you, we are going to discuss only single row and aggregate function here. All these 3 types of functions we are not going to discuss as part of our SQL. However, we are going to do a little bit of object reference functions when we are going to work with PL/SQL in class number 9. So with this, I'm wrapping up the SQL functions. Thank you.